behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Mash TV. Palm Mash TV.
Okay, everybody, it's Paul Mash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. We got another great interview coming up for you in just a moment. But don't forget about that subscribe button and the bell if you haven't clicked those already, and you're always going to get the latest interviews and episodes whenever they're available. And feel free to leave a comment on the comment section if you like what you see. And also go to facebook.com/Paul Mash TV. And feel free to follow us there, send us an inbox, comment on the things you see there. And you can email us as well at paulmashtv, all one word, at gmail.com. And if you're a band or a solo artist that want to be on the show, you can send us an email and we'll show you how to do that. But we love fan mail as well, so if you're just a fan, send an email to that same address and we'll get back to you. And all this will be, recapped again at the closing credits at the end of the show, so I hope you'll stay tuned for that. From Naples, Florida, we have Tim McGeary today, another awesome artist, and I think you're really going to like him. And we're going to get to that in a second because it starts right now. Okay, everybody, here we are with the interview, and with us from Naples, Florida, we have Tim McGeary. Thanks for joining us, Tim.
Hey, great to be here. Thanks so much, Paul, for getting me on the interview today. It's just another beautiful day in Naples. You know what they say: old people move to Florida, and their parents move to Naples.
Well, we're glad to have you here. How did it all begin for you as far as being an artist? Because, everyone has their different walks of life. We want to hear how you started being an artist.
Basically, I've been always playing music, and always like original music. I've been everything. Like, I was in like a Christian band called Kairos. We used to have rock masses, and the Catholic Church were in, and then, we did a coffee house, and we were writing songs back then. So I always was writing songs, and then I got into a band called Neighbors and Allies, and we did a lot of stuff, in New York, and there's some great stories with David Bowie came to see us, and and we sat down. It was cool, and we had a really good name in New York City, but that band split up, and after we had a record deal, we turned into that band, and I went to another band called The Rescue, and that band was on A&M Records, and it was like it was sort of funny. We went on this tour. Our manager put us on this tour, and it was like awful. It was like every worst person that owned a club. That he must have to every worst club owner in the country. We came back like, what the heck? What was that? And he's like, I'm just gonna try and toughen you guys up. So stop crying because in 2 weeks you're open for Duran Duran at Brenda Arena. So we went from like bad club to 25,000 seaters, and we did that for about 2 years, and we opened up for like Billy Idol, Duran Duran, Roxy Music, The Cure, Depeche Mode, Simple Minds, Missing Persons, Patti Smyth and Scandal, Modern English, Berlin, all those bands in the 80s. We were always the opener. So like, we're the greatest opening band that ever lived. We never headlined. We were always the opener. So we just, but what a great, what a great, time. You know what I mean? Playing in front of thousands of people and just having fun, and we really learned our craft. So basically, what happened is I had a couple solo CDs under the thing called Wonderful Johnson, and I did one down in Artist Studios in Memphis with John Hampton, which is a great producer. And I did one locally here. And so friends of mine said, well, you should go to Nashville because you write a lot of songs. So, of course, me, well, I'm a songwriter. I know what I'm doing. No, you don't. So when I got to Nashville, it was a rude awakening. It's like, but I mean, I have a lot of friends there, and luckily, I had some really good people that helped me, and sort of learn the craft and really improve my craft. Because when you're in Nashville, you're some of the best songwriters in the world. That's all these guys do. So so either you up your game or you leave. So I just decided, well, I'm going to really work at it. So it took about 2 years, and this song, American Made, that's been getting on the radio lately, is one of the songs that's been cut by a few other people. And what happened was, I think that was the song when I finally got it. Like, the lyrics is like, they said something, this is something called put furniture in the room, which means see visual stuff. So the first verse, the smoking pipes of a Harley and the rumble that they make, It's the laughter of a child, her first July parade. You're at a baseball diamond on a hot summer night. You got a hot dog and a nice cold beer, and you're singing the national anthem, and you're holding back a tear. Now, you can see all that, right? And I think that was the song where I thought, I think I'm getting it. You know what I mean? But you're always trying to improve your craft. You know, it's not you never. As soon as you think you know it all, you're in the wrong business. You know, it's like that. So, but I've had some really good friends, and I'm writing with some really good, like huge, I mean, super hit songwriters like Chaz Sanford, Gary Hanel, you know, Win Varble. These guys are like, I've got a chance to write with them. Bridget Tatum, we wrote 2 songs with her. She wrote Jason Aldean, She's Country, you know.
Hmm.
So I mean, I've written some, and I got a chance to write with these people. You know what I mean? And it really helped me, and I just really worked. I've been working on my craft ever since. So now what I'm doing during COVID, because we couldn't get a lot together, so a lot of things like we're doing Zoom now, we would write Zoom. And what I did is I got my studio together, and now, you know, so now I'm recording people and producing people down here from all over the world. I'm working with a guy named Zaja from the country of Georgia. You know, we have a song called The Cost of Freedom. I'm working with Leah Alonso. She's from Mexico. She has 2 songs, Found and Ain't You. I'm working with a local girl, Missy Balsam. We have 3 singles out. New one's coming out. Drops in about 2 weeks. Called Raise It Up. I'm working with a new girl in Toronto starting Tuesday. So, you know, I mean, it's like, and guys in Denmark, Starlingville, we got a song we put out together and it got on Danish radio. So it's really fun. And then I do house concerts. And last year my wife and I, we did 10 weeks in Europe. We drove around. Now it was mostly vacation, but I had some shows picked around, you know. And we did some house concerts, and then we did a thing in Scotland. One was a small pub, and then the other one was to raise money for a children's hospital in Scotland. So it was in Glasgow. It was Glasgow's Children's Hospital. So that's really good. And so I just love music because what music does, you know, like you've been to concerts, right? And there's like all these people, right? All different colors, races, religions, whatever, you know. But when the music comes on, everyone's one. You know, no one cares about what you look like, what you're dressed like. You know, it's all about the music, and everyone's having fun. You're lifting them up. I mean, like to me, that's so powerful. It's like magic, and so as a songwriter, you know what I mean. You know, I love it. I mean, I've had a lot of people cut my songs. I've had like probably about 40, 50 people, you know, different artists cut some of the songs I've written or co-written, you know, with some other people, and I think it's the coolest thing ever. That like of all the songs they could listen to, you know, they're gonna pick one of mine. I mean, I had William Shatner do one of my songs. he did he did a song with an album with Jeff Cook from Alabama, because Jeff Cook was a huge Star Trek fan, and Shatner did the talkie part, you know, like and then the Jeff would sing the choruses, and the song was called Wrong Number, and the theme of the song is every time death comes calling, I tell him it's wrong number. So which is pretty appropriate for a guy who's 90, right? Still going strong. So that was cool. But yeah, and then I've also worked like a lot of things for movies and TV shows. I've had things on Smallville, One Tree Hill, Glory Days, a couple movies, TV shows. I had one called a recent show coming in the Undercover Detective. So I mean, and so I'm writing for that, you know, and I have friends of different people that pitch, you know, and so the studio I got, like these guys will call me up and they go, hey, I need this song for this car company. I go, okay, so what do you need? Well, it has to be this and this and that. And I go, when do you need it? In about an hour. I'm like, what? Like an hour? So, but you know, I got to the point where I can actually put something together, and you know, and we've made some money with it. So that's really fun. So I'm always writing. And I also do a thing called Songs of Love, and what they do is these are kids that have either like cancer or some debilitating disease, you know. And what they do is that they give me all their, like, you know, their favorite foods and their pets' names and their family and the things they love to do, and I write a personal single just for them. And so and the kids love it, and so they get a song, and I put all the particulars in, so they know it's exactly for them. You know, they'll, oh, my name's in it, you know, and then, you know, their parents' names and their dogs' names, and that's my favorite food and what I love to do. So it's really fun. So I think that's a give back, you know. So I love doing that, and I don't know, I'm busy. Being retired.
Well, that's a great story, and I know you worked with a lot of, or at least written for a lot of famous people, as you mentioned, like
Right.
David Bowie and everything. Would you say some of those people were really your inspirations for what you do? And
I just love good songs. You know what I mean? I mean, like I
Mhm,
don't care what the genre is. I mean, I can listen to, like I love R&B, all Motown, and then I love rock. I like the Foo Fighters. I love them. I love the Beatles, David Bowie. I like people that stretch. Peter Gabriel is one of my favorite. I saw him at Central Park with 200,000 people. And he did the Biko. And it was like 2,000 people sang. 200,000. I mean, it was like spiritual, and it's beautiful. So, I mean, I just love, great. There was a perfect example is that song that when Johnny Cash did that song "Hurt,"
mhm,
and that's Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails, which is pretty much as far away from the spectrum of what Johnny Cash did and what Trent Reznor did.
mhm,
And when Trent Reznor saw him do that song, he goes, "That's your song." Because if when you watch that video, if that doesn't get you, like hit you right in the heart. I mean, it's just the way the whole thing. Wow, you know what I mean? And I think Rick Rubin did that record. I think he produced it, and I think he wanted everyone to know how good Johnny Cash was and remember. And he did all these songs, but to do a Trent Reznor song from Nine Inch Nails, what Johnny Cash, a country icon, but dude, he killed that song. I was like, oh my, I was just like, wow. When I saw that video, it crushed me. It was like, yeah. So, I, there was a guy, Richard McDonald, I have a song called Stripped, and he loved that song. And he just said, Tim, a great song will find a home. That one song, Amazing, that they do, Lone Star? Well,
mhm.
he said that song was going around for 5 years in Nashville. No one would touch it. What a giant hit that was. It's like, so, and he goes, and that's what he said. He goes, a great song will find a home someday. And it's true. They seem to, it might be a little later than you want, it does. And so that's for me, I did it. I mean, like, that song, that one Bonnie Wright song, I Can't Make You Love Me, turn down the bed, that one.
Mhm.
I did a show with Art Shamblin. He was one of the songwriters of that song. That song was originally a bluegrass song. I'm going, what? A bluegrass song? Like what? Like but he wrote it with a guy who's a piano player, and he sort of retooled it. So um, I just the band The Rescue was like 40 years ago. I just found my keyboard player that I was trying to find for like years. I couldn't find him, and I did, and so we had a song. We're working together right now, and it's so much fun because we worked together really hard and had records, and we just got separated, couldn't find each other, and now it's like we're working back together, and it's like great to have these guys, sort of back, and he's still doing music, and I'm still doing music. Hey, yeah, so we're all excited about that, and so that's good. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love what music does. I love the way it lifts people. I love the way people dance. I love people. You make them cry sometimes. I have a song called "Hold On." It's about the day I lost my 18-year-old son in a car accident 16 years ago, and there's a song and you can listen to this after American. It's called Miracles. And what happened was about 10 days after we went outside, this single white flower grew. Now it hadn't rained. It was in rocky soil, and and we never saw that flower, in our yard before. And we've been there about 12 years, so you pretty much know what grows in your yard, right? After 12 years. His name was Trevor, so we call it Trevor's flower. Well, a couple of days later, my wife went out, and there was the original flower closed up, and there was 5 white flowers around, just like the first one. So she went to tell me, and when she got to the phone, it was a nurse from the organ donation call. She goes, "Hey, listen, I want to tell you that 5 lives were saved from your son's gift."
Mhm.
Now, if that isn't a gift, what is? So there's a beautiful song, and band Cash Creek, they cut it for their version, but there's another version on there, and it's really good. So if you want to listen, it's a tearjerker though. So I can tell you, it's one of those. But those songs are good. Sometimes you need those emotional songs, to sort of bring you to a place, like that one where that one with Dolly Parton and Brad Paisley. When I get to where I'm going, that one. I played that at my son's funeral. I mean, that was beautiful. So yeah.
Well, where can we find your music at? I mean, I'm sure it's on all the streaming platforms, and I'm sure we can find you on social media as well. But Give us an idea where we can look you up at.
Okay, well, there's a timmcgeary.com that has a lot of songs on it. SoundCloud, I'm on SoundCloud for a bunch of songs. YouTube, Tim McGeary, I have a YouTube channel. There's a bunch of songs because I have rock songs on there, country songs, all kinds of stuff on there. I also work with a guy, Alonzo Bella, so we have some R&B songs, and we're finishing one now next week. So yeah, just all kinds of music. I mean, I don't know. Like some people like, this is my genre. I don't know. For me, I just love all types of music. So I just try to make the best song I can for that genre when I do it. So YouTube video, and then also too, if they go to timmcgeary.com and leave me a message, okay, and they want to, and they like a song, I will, I'll send them an MP3 of a song that they like, and I'll keep them in the loop. And then as I get new songs out, I'll just send you MP3. It doesn't cost you any money. I don't, I'm not bugging you like, as songs come out like every 6 to 8 weeks, you get a new song, and I just like, develop that thing. And nothing too is if anybody in Alabama, Georgia, Florida, stuff like that, I do a lot of house concerts, and they're really fun because you sort of know how expensive concerts are today, right? It's like yeah, $300 for a nosebleed seat. Who's that on there? Yeah. So, but what they do is I come in and you used to get just about $10 to $20 a head. Everyone brings food in, and I do a private concert in your house. Easy do like 2 sets, and people love it, because I tell them the stories behind the songs. There's a funny song that I tell you. It's called "Feed That Dog." It's on my latest CD, and my friend got married, and he had an old country grandma. She's like, and then she goes to the new bride. She's like, "Now, darling," she goes, "you want a long and happy marriage?" And of course, the new bride's like, "Well, yes, ma'am, I do." She goes, "Well, honey, I'm going to tell you the secret." She goes, "Well, what is it?" She goes, "You got to be good to your man. Because you don't feed the dog at home, he'll be digging in the trash." I went, "Oh my gosh." I go, "Grandma," I wrote that down, like, "Feed that dog." And I wrote that with a songwriter named Buddy Brock, who wrote Watermelon Crawl and a bunch of the classic, stuff. And just the nicest guy. And just, and it was so funny because I had a connection, and I called him up and I said, "Listen, I got this song. I'm just going to tell you this idea, and he goes, "Tim," he's a country boy from South Carolina. And he goes, "Man," "I've been writing country songs for 35 years. I never heard that. You got to come over. We're writing that one right today." So luckily, it's like, so those are the kind of things, we've done. And, yeah, it's been really good. So, so I have some funny songs and some serious songs,
Okay. Well, everybody go out to those streaming sites and all those websites he told you about. I know that he would love you for that.
Yes, please.
We're getting ready to watch that American Made video in just a moment, but I think that's all we need for right now, Tim, and we thank you so much for coming on by. Come back anytime you want to plug something new, and we'll help you do that.
Thank you so much, Paul, and thanks everybody for listening, and everyone have a great summer. It's going to be, all right? Okay, everyone keep safe. All right, bye-bye.
Okay, well, here it is, American Made, and it starts right now.
Like the smoking pipes of a Harley and the rumble that they make. It's the laughter of a child, her first July parade. You got a baseball diamond on a summer night. You got a hot dog and an ice cold beer, and you're singing the national anthem, and you're holding back a tear. Yeah, it's what we do, it's who we are, it's where we stand. American made, yes I am. It's American made, oh yes we can. It's what we do, it's who we are, it's where we stand as Americans. The Depression didn't break us, our people held on strong. It taught us what was important, and sometimes we could be wrong. And the fathers that fought before us, and the sacrifice they made. There's an 18-year-old standing in the sand, and he's doing the very same. Yeah, towers fell around us, we knew just what we had to do. One nation under God, one country for me and you. And we all cried for freedom, for what was right and what was true. And we all stood together, we were all red, white, and blue. Yeah, it's what we do, it's who we are, it's where we stand.